This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Forget the frustration of picking commerce platforms when you switch your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling wherever you sell. With Shopify, you'll harness the same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/tech.
British Spy Stories Season 4 Double Agent Episode 3 There's a frost on the window of the safe house as Laravelle makes coffee. She always likes getting up early, as it makes her feel prepared for whatever the day contains. She hears the sound of feet padding down the stairs, and Hans walks in wearing running gear. "You coming out, Jenny?" he says. "Tomorrow, Gordon?" She uses his real name, too. Hans pulls the back door open and disappears into the morning, past barren fields that surround the safe house, waiting for next year's crops. Laravelle sits by the window in the lounge, looking out at the landscape. After a few minutes, Gabby comes down too and sits next to her. "How are you feeling?" "Good. Can you tell me anything yet about what this new op is?" "You'll be undercover as a personal assistant to Amandine Lacroix. Your name will be Nathalie Ducasse. You're a French national." Laravelle drinks some coffee. The usual PA, Bernadette Moreau, was tracked last week by the spooks in the British Embassy in Zurich. They slipped some Z15 drops into her drink at a coffee shop 2 days ago. "What do those drops do?" says Laravelle. "Z15s make you feel unwell for 2 or 3 weeks, but then it's untraceable. London already had taps on the phones in Amandine's house, and they intercepted a call from Bernadette yesterday afternoon to a temp agency asking for cover as she is going off sick. They diverted the call to GCHQ, and a fake agency confirmed that Nathalie Ducasse will arrive tomorrow morning in Zurich." "Okay," says Laravelle. "What do I need to do?" "Get Amandine to trust you. Be indispensable. When the timing is right, we'll break the bank that she owns from the inside." The sound of the back door banging shut precedes Hans' return from his run. He puts his head around the doorframe. "Get showered, Gordon. Then there's a full briefing after breakfast." He nods and disappears upstairs. They eat, then gather in an extension to the main house. Gabby talks for 10 minutes about Operation Barwood and explains the objectives. "There's a delivery expected here at 10 this morning from London," she says towards the end of her briefing. "It will have your deep cover package, Laravelle. Passport, clothes, plane ticket, and so on. And they're bringing a tech ops bundle, Hans. Can you set up a control room and screens in the back bedroom?" "Yes, Mum." "We need more research on Friedrich Andersen," she says. "On the directors, on Amandine, on her husband Vincent Fevrier, and any family members. London have done outline research, but we need more detail." "Laravelle," Gabby continues, "I'll need a daily report from you when you're undercover. Tell me what Amandine is doing, who she's meeting, and what emails she's sending. If she is personally meeting clients connected to the terrorist groups, then we need to know that before it happens, with as much notice as possible." "Got it?" says Laravelle. The sound of a lorry rolls in from the road outside. "That's our delivery," says Gabby, and they all stand up and head for the front door. The headquarters of MI6, the British Secret Intelligence Service, is a building known as Vauxhall Cross. There's a thick red carpet on the top corridor, which denotes the seniority of the people who have offices on this level. Sir Bernard opens his door and turns towards the conference room. As he walks in, Sir Ralph Coltrane turns from looking out across the River Thames, and his face breaks into a broad smile. "Bernard, you're looking well." "You too, Ralph." They shake hands. Sir Ralph Coltrane is the permanent secretary to the UK's Foreign Office, the most senior civil servant in the ministry, responsible for managing the relationship between the Foreign Secretary, Georgina Riley, and the civil servants who work for her. "How's the minister?" says Sir Bernard, walking to a tray on a sideboard, with cups, a teapot, and milk in a jug. "Tea?" The other man nods. "She's a difficult one," says Sir Ralph, opening his eyes more widely. "Only 6 months in, and causing a bit of havoc. We'll have to get control of her, Bernard. She wants to know everything that's going on." "Not a surprise, surely," says Sir Bernard, handing over a cup of tea. "She wants detail, Bernard. We haven't always got that, as you know." "I'm not sure I do, Ralph. What detail do you mean?" "Spending plans and how the budgets of initiatives from other ministries will impinge on foreign affairs." Sir Bernard smiles. "Isn't that democracy, Ralph?" They both sit down. "A new civilian broom every year or two to sweep away the cobwebs inside the civil service." "I take it you're joking, Bernard. You know as well as I do that some things never change, irrespective of who's in power." Sir Bernard leaves a pause, then changes the subject. "What's the urgent matter you wanted to talk about? Your office were adamant about you and I meeting face to face today." "As I was coming out of the tube on my way home, the minister called me yesterday. She'd had a session with David Walker, the Home Secretary. MI5 have reported to Walker that there is evidence of persistent leaks from members of Parliament." "Don't they leak all the time?"
"Often they do, but this is more serious. It includes details of discussions at the closed Defence Select Committee meetings."
"Do we know who's doing it?"
"Not yet. Connie has committed resource to ferreting them out,"
says Sir Ralph, referring to Constance Barrett, Director of Operations for MI5, the UK's domestic intelligence organisation. "Why are you telling me this, Ralph?"
"They want it to be a joint 5 and 6 op, Bernard. The information Connie has so far is that the leaks are being encouraged by overseas players. So there's a non-UK element to all of this, and we need your boys and girls involved."
"Do we know what specifically has got out yet?"
"A mixture. There are some contractual details from the procurement agency, the DE&S,
says Sir Ralph. He stops to drink some tea.
And there's some personal data about parliamentarians and civil servants."
"For blackmail, presumably?"
"You and Connie know about that sort of thing more than I, Bernard. Safe to say the leaks are significant enough that they've reached ministerial level chat. That makes us look bad. Makes it look like we haven't got a grip on it all."
"Do we know how long this has been going on?" Sir Ralph looks uncomfortable.
"Possibly 2 or 3 years.
"And we didn't pick it up before now?" Sir Ralph splays out both of his hands to show his palms in a sign that nothing can be done about that. "I'll talk to Connie," says Sir Bernard.
"Thank you, old man."
Sir Ralph stands.
"I need to be going. The minister is meeting the PM at 12. And there's no agenda, apparently, so we're putting together a brief on possibles."
They walk to the lift.
"This could be a dirty one, Bernard. Leaking MPs' defence information makes me feel very edgy."
The white light comes on above their heads, and a muted tone indicates that the lift has arrived. The doors open, and Sir Ralph disappears inside. The Blue Boar pub on Tothill Street is a short walk from the Houses of Parliament in London. The place is not busy for a Tuesday. Gavin walks back from the bar with 2 pints of Old Speckled Hen beer and puts them down on the table in front of Hugh Burns, then sits opposite him on a stool.
"How's your new job going at the Home Office?"
says Gavin.
"Bloody difficult,"
says Hugh.
"No money, and everyone wants us to do more."
"That's government, old chap." They simultaneously drink some of their beer.
"What about you?"
says Hugh.
"I envy you, Gav. I'd like to get back to the whole defence thing. I had a ball as a junior minister at the FO."
He refers to the Foreign Office.
"And it always gets the lion's share of funding."
"Guns are expensive, Hugh," says Gavin, and gives the briefest of tiny smiles. "Actually, I wanted to talk to you about your time in defence." The other man looks at him. "Do you know a chap called Charles Webster?"
"Yeah, I know him."
"What's your assessment?" Hugh Burns drinks another mouthful of beer and thinks for a moment.
"He's reliable. Good at his job, actually. Likes the ladies."
"Oh, yes?"
"He's handsome, isn't he?"
says Hugh.
"They always play the field, that type. He takes his lady friends to the Charlotte Street Hotel, apparently."
"Is he playing away? He's got a pretty little wife, hasn't he?" says Gavin. "Becky knows her."
"Sylvia, yes,"
says Hugh.
"Wouldn't surprise me if he was unfaithful. These civil servants think they're God sometimes."
"Can you introduce me?" says Gavin.
"To Sylvia?"
Hugh laughs.
"To Charles,"
says Gavin.
"I'd like to get to know him a bit more. We'll be working together with my new role." "I'll sort of lunch, shall I?"
"Much appreciated, Hugh."
"Maybe you can do something for me in return, with your lovely minister, Georgina Riley,"
says Hugh.
"Put a word in. I'd love a junior minister role under her."
And Hugh winks. In her inbox this morning, Kate found a new reconnaissance order for a planned assassination that has taken most of her day to complete. She drove to the given location, which had been in the Swiss mountains, just south of the Leergan Peak. She had surveyed the area and taken photographs of the proposed kill site. Now she drives down to a viewing point that is halfway up the mountain and parks her Jaguar F-Type. Kate pushes a combination of buttons on the dashboard, and her sat-nav screen changes to show the crest of MI6. On her driver's door, she flicks a tab, and a panel pings out to reveal a keyboard. She pulls it out and logs into the MI6 operations system, Oberon. There's a section on the order for her feedback about the suitability of the suggested kill location. She decides to dictate her words.
"Agent Coniston, comments on the proposed termination plan? Job number 2734-J3.
She begins.
I have surveyed the location proposed by Ops Branch and cannot approve this plan for the following reason. The sniper position suggested has no clear sightline to the kill location. It is amongst trees, and if someone had actually bothered to check..."
She pauses, then continues.
Delete that last sentence. "The trees around the sniper position are too dense. I suggest a better location is 4728 north, 8223 east. The other details seem okay. I have no intelligence of the target's movements to know if we could get the target to be at the planned kill location, however. Agent Coniston, feedback finished."
She closes the job on the screen and packs away the keyboard. The attack last night by the man has made her jittery. She sits for 10 minutes looking at the valley beyond the bonnet of the Jag. Kate doesn't normally get nervous. It's one of the key qualities about her personality that allowed her to pass through the training for being an assassin with top marks. Holding your nerve in this job is critical. Kate is part of the elite C9 branch within the Secret Intelligence Service. C9 contains all of the dedicated assassins for MI6. It's an overlay network, not controlled by the spooks in the British embassies worldwide, but directly by London Centre. Kate noses her Jag back down the mountain roads and towards her flat in Zurich. She parks and walks up the stairs to her front door. Kate is a night owl, and part of her nighttime routine is as a gamer. Often, she has seen the sun come up as she completes the final levels of a war game. A real-life killer, playing at being a virtual one. She hasn't reported the attack to London yet, because she wants to understand more about it. She goes into Oberon and searches for the name mentioned by the attacker, Mr. Zetkin. A set of links comes up showing where Zetkin is mentioned in any MI6 live operations. Immediately, she can see Operation Barwood mentioned, being led by Gabby Lane. They've known each other for a couple of years, since Gabby was suspected of being a mole, and Kate nearly killed her. She messages Gabby, suggesting that they meet up. One other way that might give insights into Zetkin is by using the dark web, those websites that can only be reached by people who know how to find them. She loads her Tor browser and starts to search. She finds a site called Bile House, a forum that seems to be populated by people discussing crime. Kate reads through the threads searching for any mention of Zetkin, but she finds nothing. She creates posts on Bile House about the one thing she knows will get her noticed: killing. Kate itemizes all of the weapons that she is proficient in and says she operates in the Zurich area. She says she is a discreet and professional assassin and highlights anonymized past kills. She comes out of the dark web and starts to play a battlefield game. Just as she is slaughtering a whole brigade of enemy troops, a notification appears in the top corner of her screen from Bile House. It's from someone called L'Equipe84. She replies and they ask about her experience, which she relates. A chat box appears on the screen with the words, "You seem to have good expertise." She types, "Do you have work that needs doing?" "I want to meet you first." "Name the place and time." "You know Opfikon?" types L'Equipe84. "On the way to the airport." "I know it." "Tomorrow, midnight, at this address." An address clicks up into the chat box, and Kate takes a picture with her phone. Then the chat box closes.